Welcome back to First Take. The Titans made a surprising move late last night, finalizing a deal to hire 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as their next head coach. Saleh was previously the head coach for the New York Jets for over 3 seasons, really impressing the Titans brass with his final interview on Monday. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, the Dolphins announced their decision to hire Jeff Hafley as their next head coach. Hafley spent the last 2 years as the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator and takes over a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 25 seasons. Stephen A., better fit, Hafley in Miami, Saleh in Tennessee?
Well, I don't know, because I'm looking at Hafley in Green Bay, and I was like, your defense was one level with Micah Parsons, and it was another level without him. So I got to pay attention to that. It remains to be seen. He's never been an NFL head coach before. The only time we saw him as a head coach was in college at Boston College, where he was 4 games under 500 in 4 seasons. Do I think he deserved the opportunity? Yes. I'm happy for him, and I hope that he does a good job, and he's got nowhere to go but up. So I guess the answer would be him, considering the level of ineptitude and purgatory status that the Miami Dolphins have lived with over the last quarter century, since they can't win a playoff game to save their damn lives. There's distractions down in Miami. There's distractions. You got to be focused, because you're going to run into a lot of players where, you know what, we lose, but I mean, listen, down in South Florida, man, you lose some football games, you still see cats rolling out with smiles on their faces. Sun's going to shine tomorrow. That's how they living, all right? You got to change that attitude, that culture. Here's what I want to say, though. Hafley would be my answer to this question, because I didn't want Saleh in Tennessee. I'm sure Cam Ward's got promise. I'm sure he showed it this year. The few games that I watched him, he showed it was up and down, obviously. But when I think about Saleh and what he brings to the table, I know he didn't make the playoffs and he had a losing record himself in the 4 years coaching with the New York Jets. But being in that market, having that defense where it was, which coaxed Aaron Rodgers to coming to the New York Jets. Listen, when I hear about Saleh, what do they want? They want accountability. They want people that are unafraid of conflict. This is why Tennessee hired him. Well, guess where they need that? They need that in Baltimore. They need a fresh mind, but somebody that's going to hold cats accountable and remind you of what the days were like when Ed Reed, who I saw last night, and Ray Lewis and those boys were wearing a Baltimore Ravens uniform. I really, really wanted Robert Saleh to be a finalist, if not the candidate for the Baltimore Ravens job, rather than Tennessee. That's where I think he belonged. I don't like it for Tennessee, short term anyway. Long term remains to be seen. So I say the answer to this question is Hafley.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the same way about it. I like the Hafley fit better than the Saleh fit. And
wow.
Saleh's tenure with the Jets colors it a little bit negatively for me, with him aligning himself with a young quarterback in Cam Ward down in Tennessee. Even though Saleh had the overall trajectory for the Jets pointed up before Aaron Rodgers got to Florham Park, Zach Wilson and the development or lack thereof is why I would be hesitant to hire Rob Saleh in order to have him get the most out of Cam Ward. I'm not one of these people that believe that you have to hire a quarterback whisperer, but at the same time, the previous failure that Saleh had to develop Zach Wilson is why I don't like the fit. Conversely, with Jeff Hafley, the alignment that he has with general manager John Eric Sullivan being on the same timeline, both of them have experience working together in Green Bay. I think the most talented side of the ball in Miami is the defensive side of the ball. Best player on the team, Jordan Brooks, first team All-Pro. I like the pieces that they have, and they're going to need a really good defense in order to function forward past that Tua contract. So I like the Hafley fit more than the Saleh.
Wow, I'm surprised by that. Yeah, I'm going Saleh here for kind of the reasons you just talked about with the Dolphins. I think their best unit is the defensive side. Cam Ward is an up-and-coming guy. You got to surround up-and-coming quarterbacks with help. And you give them a good defense. If Saleh puts a good defense, the biggest question mark for me on both of these guys is who are their hires. Like, listen, head coaching is what it is. We can think of it. But who you hire as an OC, as a special teams coordinator, as a defense coordinator, matter. And I want to see kind of how these guys laid out, because Cam Ward, to your point, he's a blank canvas at this point.
A lot of talent.
A ton of talent. You see some of the throws he made, like we talked about, like Caleb Williams was capable of doing. He makes some of those same throws. The problem is he's going to have to get carried as this progression goes. And so who do you match with him? Who do you get as your offensive coordinator? To me, but Saleh, I think all of us agree, is a no-nonsense guy. all teams, to me, so far have been really quick. I don't understand the hurry on a lot of teams. Dermott's now out there. Like,
I do.
Some good coaches. It's kind of shocking to me.
Quick wrap, Stephen A. Quick wrap.
I wouldn't say I understand the quickness on the part of the teams, but as a coach, a bird in the hand is the bird in the hand. You can't pass up on opportunities because of a maybe somewhere else.
For sure.
There's 32 of these jobs. That's it. And so that explains why you see these coaches going all out trying to get these jobs while they can, because they just don't know.
Agreed. That Tennessee job, with the decision-making of that franchise lately with Vrabel and with Henry and some of the other decisions, you just wonder what's your upside if you're Saleh. You take the job. You take the job for sure, but you
entire NFL offseason last year. Is that right or wrong?
Trini, are you seriously asking me this question? Right, 100%. Do you see Vrabel on the sideline doing all the celebrations with the guys? 100%. His ability to connect and his ability to win football games. Don't tell me about how easy their schedule is or any of that other nonsense. They're in the AFC Championship game again.
So many very impactful coaching hires last year.
Yeah.
But you can't argue with the success of Vrabel. Then finally, hey, Jeff, if I said Bill Belichick is a good fit for the Buffalo Bills coaching job, is that right or wrong?
I mean, are you seriously asking me this?
This
is like J-Man. I mean,
it says Jeff
absolutely
here.
wrong. No, my man is a Tar Heel. We're not worried about Bills, no other nonsense. We're talking about taking the Tar Heels and winning more than 4 games down in Carolina. We are not worried about the NFL. We're about growing a reputation in Tar Heel land.
Okay, you're right. We shouldn't have aimed that one at Jeff. We should have started somewhere else. Let me turn to Dominique Foxworth. If I were to say, and Rex Ryan did say it sitting right there yesterday, that he believes that the Bills have always been enamored of Belichick. He believes that Belichick would love nothing more than to come back to the AFC East with Josh Allen as his quarterback and try and knock off his old team. You know, we know that there's the history now with him and the Patriots. Do you see any
No,
fit?
I mean, what a difference a couple years makes.
Right.
Like, I think the attractiveness of Bill Belichick as a candidate was based on a different version of Bill Belichick. We're not going to solve Jeff Saturday's problem for him. Go ahead and stay down there and figure it out in North Carolina. Because I don't know what the Bills, how they feel about Bill Belichick. And, of course, the 6 Super Bowls and all the success, like, I get the reason why you would want Bill Belichick if you believed that you were getting that version of Bill Belichick. But that level of focus isn't what we've seen since he's been, or accomplishment or achievement isn't what we've seen since he's been outside the NFL.
Yeah, it's just hard to believe that they let go of Sean McDermott with the recent success that he has had as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills to bring back Bill after the year that they've had representing your Tar Heels. So to me, it almost feels like that moment in the NFL as a head coach has kind of died down and has already passed. Because, guys,
I'm going to stop the slander for just a second. We weren't really armed with a ton of talent. Easy right now.
It's not about the record,
Okay,
Jeff.
but just be easy. We're taking a lot of unnecessary
We
shots
are being
on Tar
easy.
Heels.
You're being very easy.
We're being so
You're all
easy.
being way
Y'all
too
trying to get everybody- y'all
This
trying to
would be
get everybody
an
out of Tar Heels.
insane decision by the Buffalo
Thank you.
Bills.
Why?
Because it is not 2016. This is not the guy. He won 6 Super Bowls. You're not getting that guy. You're getting a guy who went 4-8 at Carolina, and by the way, made him a laughingstock along the way for various other reasons. No. Don't do this. Don't do this.
I was trying
Buffalo
to
Bills.
I was going innuendo. I was
agree.
letting them connect the dots.
Yeah,
Look at Fire Guy has us in the playoffs every single year and replace him with the guy that just went 4-8 at North Carolina. I understand what you're saying. If it were only that. 74. There's that too. If it were only those, though, one could say maybe he's just not the right fit for college football. That's an entirely different universe. Okay. And this is that, and you played for him. And I think the point that Dan is trying to make is that it feels like the human being that we knew Bill Belichick to be for 50 freaking years in the NFL has disappeared and replaced by someone else. Is it possible that if he got another chance in the NFL, that other human being that we remember might return and might be able to put together some sort of success?
It's so hard to say that because we're saying that other human being returned. Like, why did he leave? Like, where did he go? Like, he was still coaching for one into that. So it's so hard to believe the last year in New England, then the year in Carolina.
I mean, it's in there, I guess. If you want to be positive, you could say that maybe it's in there and he would find that again. And maybe listening to us will fire him up and he'll lock in and be that coach again. But I wouldn't want to be the organization that bet on that.
Yeah, and the hard part about this, too, is going to be the whole Bean thing, all right?
Yeah.
It's like how would how
the
would
general
Bill want to
manager.
come in from a general manager perspective? Like, I'm sure if and when he does go back to the NFL, he would have a list of demands that most other head